Hi everyone, welcome back to Faraday Academy, another Python live stream. I have JT with me again this week. You want to say hi, JT?
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
And we are doing another Code Wars today, which JT has picked out for us, a level 5 kata. So let me pull up my screen share now. There we go. You can still see us kind of in the top there. All right, so if you don't know what codewars.com is, it's a website where you can do coding challenges similar to, I guess, HackerRank or something like that. And you can do it in a lot of different languages. Today we're going to use Python version 3, which is just, Python, the current version of Python. Um, some people differentiate, yeah. So this is the challenge we're going to do. It's called directions reduction. And yeah, I'll read through the instructions, and then we're basically going to go over to a VS Code live share session so that JT and I can both type code. Oh, okay. Sorry. JT JT and I can both type code because we did some test setup here so we can run the test locally. And then I will put them in the browser and we'll submit our challenge live. That's just so both of us can kind of type code and work on it together, so I'm not the only one typing. All right, so let me read the challenge details. Oh, by the way, I think I can post this in the comments here in the chat so you can get access. Or so you can look at it yourself if you want. Let me know if you can see that for who's ever watching. And if
It's
you...
there.
What?
I said it's there. I can see it.
Oh, good. Awesome. Yes, and if anyone has any recommendations or you think we should do certain things, then just shout it out in the chat. Hi, Derek. Good to see you
Hey,
again.
Dirk.
All right, so this challenge that I just posted in the chat, directions reduction. Once upon a time, oh, so it's a story. On a way through the old, wild, mountainous west, a man was given directions to go from one point to another. The directions were north, south, west, east. Clearly, north and south are opposite, west and east too. Going to one direction and coming back the opposite direction right away is a needless effort, obviously. Okay, so since this is the Wild West with dreadful weather and not much water, it is important to save yourself some energy. Otherwise, you might die of thirst. Hi, nobodies. Um, Okay, so how I crossed a mountain desert the smart way. The directions given... Oh, that was just a random sentence. Okay. The directions given to the man are, for example, the following, depending on the language: north, south, south, east, west, northwest. Okay, so these are the directions we're given. And then you can immediately see going north and immediately south is not reasonable, so it's better to stay in the same place. Okay, so from what we were given, we should just return west. So I see, okay, so north and south cancel each other out
Mm-hmm.
because you just go one way and right back the other way. East, west, of course, they cancel each other out. Oh, but you cancel out even though these aren't consecutive. So south and north aren't consecutive, but they're still canceling each other out.
They only cancel each other out, though, because the east and the west between them cancel each other out.
Oh,
So
right,
there's
right.
nothing between them, yeah.
Oh, so I feel like this is going to be something recursive because we have... So once we cancel these out, we're going to have to look again and then cancel out north and south because these two have been removed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have to keep looking through it until there's nothing to remove.
Ooh, this is challenging. Okay. Okay, so it has some more examples. In north, south, east, west, the direction north plus south is going north and coming back right away. East, west is doing the same thing. So the final result is an empty list. Or, okay. So north, east, west. It says nil in closure. I thought closure was functional and didn't have nulls.
I don't know anything about closure.
Okay, that was just my thought about it. But anyways, it doesn't matter because we're programming in Python. And okay, north and south, west, west. Write a function direction reduction, which will take an array of strings and return an array of strings with the needless directions removed. Okay. Okay, and then it just gives language-specific examples. Oh, it says not all paths can be made simpler. Some are not reducible. If you want to translate, okay. Okay, and that makes sense too, because if you go, because you wouldn't cancel it out unless they're in a row, because if you go south, then west, then north, you know, you're going on a different route versus just south and north right away, I guess. Unless you're picking something up. Okay. It says train again, but I checked right before we started, and I've never done this one before. So, I think we saw that before doing this too. We saw train again, and someone said that it was a bug in the interface.
Yeah, I've had a couple times where it says train again, and I think sometimes maybe if you just hit train but don't complete it, it also will say train again.
Derek is daring us to
do an O again.
Make it linear.
Man, that's one thing that I'm not great at is computational complexity, like basically big O notation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we have the function here. I'm going to switch over to VS Code so we can write it.
Yeah. Too. I was staring at the test interface and forgot about this already.
What is this? Oh, this must have been something that I was doing. I'm going to delete whatever that is.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I opened this up. I really don't remember this challenge though, but. All right. So now we have our function. We're starting with a list, and okay. So what should be our first step?
I'm thinking. By some, I mean I'm like I was thinking of just doing like a dictionary. Trying to think of the best way, because there's only 4 directions, so we could do kind of a cardinal dictionary, where each like cardinal direction has its opposite as the value pair, right?
Yeah.
So something like, all right, this is not JavaScript. I think that's a good variable name. Reduce. Are they all caps? Is that what's? Or we can guarantee they're all caps either way. So northeast.
Trying to get caught up on the chat. Could it be done by modulo and summing 1 and 2 values and -1 and 2? I have no idea what you're trying to say.
Oh, so I think he's saying like Basically, if you assign each of the cardinal directions a value, can we treat it like an arithmetic problem?
Oh, okay.
It's, I'm not sure if that would work, because, well, it would be weird if you assigned each thing like an integer value and you're subtracting and adding, I feel like.
Yeah.
There, I can't think of exactly, like, right off the top of my head why I don't think it'd work. It just, like, as a gut feeling, doesn't feel like it'd work. Because north and south would have to have the same values, right? Like 1 and or opposite values, so 1 and -1 to cancel each other out. So at the end, you could have, like, I feel like what you'd end up with is a number that could be a couple of different things. Let's see.
Good. They're all capitals.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, I think this is easier. I'm sure there's some way that you could put these as numbers.
Yeah. I'm curious how many people did that. Like at the end, when we submit this, what we'll see is like the code golf solution, the proverbial one-liner.
Yeah. Is there code golf? I play Vim golf.
Yeah. There's definitely code golf.
Cool. I'll have to look into that.
I'll see if I can send you a link because there's like sites dedicated to doing Codewars like problems, but they're code golf. So.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone hasn't tried Vim golf, wants to use Vim, it's really cool for learning the different Vim shortcuts.
I have to check it out. Derek's been trying to get me to use Vim forever now.
It's awesome.
All right. So I think we can do this one of two ways. We can just recurse through the function itself, or we can use a while loop pretty easy, I think. If we use a while loop, we'll probably need a variable to keep track of whether something inside the array is changed or not, right? Because basically what we're going to do is we're going to loop until something hasn't changed, and then once something hasn't changed, then that from the last loop, then that is our correct loop, I think. Right? Because each loop we're going to go through, we're going to reduce at least one element if there's something to reduce. And then we're going to have to check it again to see if after that reduction there's another 2 elements that should be reduced. And if not, then we have something. If so, then we do it a third time, and so on and so forth until we don't have something to remove. Right?
So I think the only thing that recursion would be more elegant, but
I don't know what our base case would be in this.
The base case would be I guess we could, yeah, I guess our search function would have to have a base case. If nothing was found, then we'd have to return.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to iterate through the array no matter what once, right? No matter for the function. I guess our base case could literally just iterate through and check and see if there's nothing there, then return the array. Otherwise, well, because we're going to have to modify the array if something is found, and then we just call the dir reduce function again.
Okay. Our cursors are on top of each other.
Yeah.
Oh, let me move our faces there.
Oh, not in front of the code. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want? We'll have to do a while loop, I guess.
Yeah. Let's set a variable. So I'll do it up here as well. We'll just say has changed probably equals false, or yeah, false. And then I was thinking instead of while true, we just do while has changed,
Okay.
right? And that means we'll have to set this to true actually. So
okay. Changed.
Yeah. And then anytime we get through, this is interesting. Because normally you want to set this to, let's see. Okay, so anytime we get through with the array and we haven't made any changes, we're going to set that to false, right? Which I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is go through and look for okay, for loop. So we take a for loop to go through the array, right? But we're not just going through the array one element at a time. We're actually going to go from, we're going to be doing 2 elements at a time, right? Does that make sense?
So a for loop inside of the while loop?
We have to, right? In order to look to see if there's 2 neighboring elements that cancel each other out.
Okay, so we do for x in R.
We're going to need a number too, though. So we're going to actually need the index and the element.
Okay.
We can do it with a range or an enumerate. Actually, no, I think we do have to do range here. Because what we're going to be doing is looking at the current element and the element next to it, in front of it, right? To see if they match. Do you see what I'm saying? Because, so let me grab one of the...
So we need to change it to a range. Why can't we just do that if we're looping?
So we need the while.
Iterate.
We need the while. Oh, okay. So you mean, are you asking why we have the for loop inside the while loop, or why we're not just using enumerate?
Yeah, enumerate.
Okay. So the problem with we're going to do, if we did the enumerate, so you're looking at the index and the element, it's going to run through each one of, okay, so it's going to run through each one of these once, right? The problem is
we can skip. We can do step by 2, right?
Well, yeah. So we need to look at 2 elements at the same time. Is the problem?
Okay.
Yeah, and if we just enumerate, what's going to happen is we're going to look at this west and then try to look at its next neighbor, and there isn't going to be anything. It's going to crash.
Okay, so we'll do range. So range would be the length of
R minus 1, right?
R.
Okay. No, ARR.
Minus 1. Oh yeah, it's called AR.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then the second one is the step size, right? So, are we doing a step size?
Yeah, that'll. Okay. I think that should work. Oh, actually, no, we don't want to do a step size. Never mind, because if we do a step size, it'll look at north and south, and then it'll skip to south and east, and then west and north, right? And what we actually want to do is north and south, and then we want to look at this south, and then south and east, and then east and west, right? We don't actually want to skip over anything. We're going to look at each individual neighbor. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we want to start with the second one,
though. Right. Well, sort of. So what we're going to do here, let's do this real quick. So what we want to do is say we want to, we're going to look at index and then look at index plus 1. And then we're going to see if those 2 cancel each other out, right? So we check if, let's see, let me actually write some code here. So we're going to say if our index is equal to cardinal opposites R index plus 1, right? Okay. And that's why we do this. So now for this example here, we're checking at the first iteration if north, right, because R of 0 is north, is equal to the cardinal opposite of the R index plus 1. So in this case, the cardinal opposite south, if you look here, is going to be north, and you'll see that north and north are the same, and so they should cancel each other out.
Yeah. Okay, this sounds like it's going to work.
So the other thing that we need to do, should we be... So we should probably be modifying the array, but how do we get rid of... what's the best way to get rid of those two elements while keeping the rest? Because it would be really easy just to do like R is equal to a splice of an array, right? But what if we are getting, like, for instance here, when we're like in the middle, there's 3 before and then 2 after, so this east and west right here, we would have to do like a split for the first 3 and then the last 2. So how do we dynamically, like, given the current index?
Can't we just do remove, like dot remove?
Is there a remove function in Python arrays?
Yeah. It's dot remove, and then I think you give it the element you want to remove. Yeah. Great. No.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Nice. So you give it the actual element you're looking, or okay, that or pop, which gives rid of the index as well. Okay.
Oh, right, pop. Yeah, because you can pop anything out of the array at any index.
So we probably should use pop then.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of similar values. Does it only remove if we give it a value with dot remove? Does it only remove the first instance? Okay. Which actually might end up being an issue if we're trying to move east and west down here, and there's an east we don't want to move at the front. Yeah. Okay. So then we can just.
Derek is saying pop question mark. Is that?
So dot pop. I think JavaScript has something similar, but basically with the arrays you say dot pop and then you give the index of the element, and that'll remove that element from whatever array you're popping it from.
Except in JavaScript you generally only use dot pop for the last element, whereas in Python you see people removing stuff from the middle.
Right.
In JavaScript,
yeah, I forgot.
You'll use splice for the middle of the array.
That's right.
I don't think anyone uses pop in JavaScript for the middle anyways.
Yeah, I haven't used it in a while. I just know that it removes things. So that makes sense. Okay. And yeah, that's right, because shift or unshift, right, removes it from the beginning, and then, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I guess what we could do here is just do r.pop index, and then r.pop index plus 1, right? Because if they're the same, then those are the ones we're getting rid of.
Yeah. I wonder if we can pop multiple in the same line, though. Can we pass in
I'm not
how many we want to pop?
The other thing that I'm worried about actually doing this is if we pop. So if we are going from the first index to the last index as we traverse through this array, and we pop something at the beginning, doesn't that mess with the indices of all the remaining elements?
Yeah, so this loop, we should save the length before. We shouldn't be looping through the length of an array that we're changing.
Even if we save it before, and I could be wrong about how this works, right? But even if we save it, let's say in this case we're going to remove the first 2 elements, right? Yeah. So the first loop we're looking at 0, and we're going to remove 0 and 1. Doesn't that now mean that 0 is now the third south, or the second south here? And then this is 1. So then we'd remove these 2, and then we'd end up looking at west and north, and then north and west, right? I'm not sure how that works while removing items while traversing the array.
Yeah, so we would have to be looking at. We could make a copy of the array.
That's what I was thinking.
No, there's no switch statement in Python because you can do everything in an if-else or ternaries.
Mhm. Um, yeah, I mean, at most we're gonna have to construct, or at least we're gonna have to construct a new array, I think, instead of.
Yeah, but the thing is, so if we had a copy outside of the while loop, every time we re-loop through the for loop in here, we want the new we want the new array that we've removed stuff from. So I think we should make a copy of the list here, right?
Could we just iterate through the list backwards? Would that work?
I mean, yeah, we could.
Because then because if you think about it, if we iterate through it backwards, where's the first? So we're gonna pop west and east, but we're going backwards, so this doesn't actually change any. This only changes things that we've already done, right?
Yeah.
I think. Well, we'd have to start here, right? So we'd have to start at the second to last one, and then we look at this one and its next neighbor, and then if these two these two won't annihilate, so to speak, so that'll be fine. Then we'll look north and west, and this will be fine. Then we'll look at west and east, and these two will cancel out. And at this point, we've been what are the numbers? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we go 6, 5. We're at 4, we cancel each other out. So we go to 3, which should be east. Okay, so yeah, maybe it does matter. Because we'd end up skipping one here, is the problem. I think.
Yeah, this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, me neither. I'm kind of glad, if I'm being honest, but also not. So let's see. I think maybe, yeah, we just create a new. Right, exactly, nobody's.
So if we. Okay, so maybe we should step through this.
Okay.
So this is just a conditional. So then we're actually looping through the list. And we're checking. So if the items that are consecutive in the list are opposites in the lookup table, are key value pairs in the lookup table, then we remove them from the list. Now, once we remove something from a list, shouldn't we break out of this loop and set has changed? No, we should break out of this loop and reloop, right? Shouldn't we do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's no reason to look through everything else necessarily, like once you get rid of one, because that could have opened up like another annihilation path, basically. Okay.
So I think we should break here, right? That'll break out of the for loop and still go through the while loop.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay.
But
how are we going to ever break out of the while loop?
Yeah, I was like, I'm having issues with this while loop now. Okay, so, well, actually, no, I think we just do this, right? No, if we have a break there, then we're gonna, dang it. I was thinking if there was a way we could use this break to like also ignore the line underneath it, that'd be great.
If it's the last, so if it's the last element in the array and hasn't found anything, then we should set has changed to false, so it breaks out of the while loop, right?
Right, but how we have it set up, what's going to happen is, let's say we set has changed to false here. Well, as soon as this breaks out, it's going to go to this next line, right? So we we would have to have some way of knowing that the for loop has reached the end instead of breaking early.
No, but we'll set this because then the while loop won't go again.
Where do we set it?
Okay, so let me just type what I'm thinking here.
Yeah.
So if, let's say, so it would be index is the last, or I guess our, no.
Yeah, we're still going forward through it.
Lane R, yeah, -1. So then I would set has changed equal to false. Oh, false. And then break. And so now has changed is false, so it'll also break out of the while loop. But I think there is something that you can break out of all loops. Or we could just return. Yeah. And that would return from the function.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we could just return the like if the index has reached the last character, or sorry, last direction, then we just return it. We don't actually need to break out of it, right?
Yeah. And also this isn't a big deal, but we're passing in a list, so I think we should make a copy before we update it, right?
We can or not. Like I don't necessarily know that matters, because we are going to be changing, because this is going to be passed by reference in this case, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well,
so if yeah, in this case it doesn't matter, because like we're only getting the input and then like expecting a certain output, but it would depend on, do you care about the original array being passed and being changed or not? You know what I mean?
I guess because this is just a Codewars, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, so I think this would work. I mean, we could try it. Do you want to try it?
Yeah, why not? I feel like we're missing. Oh yeah. Instead of has changed equal false. Well, shoot. Okay. In this case, we don't even need this flag, right? If we're gonna return here, we can just do while true. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just return. Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna copy that over to the interface.
Oh, but we have tests right here. Remember?
Oh, we have our tests in here. Never mind. I forgot.
Put all that hard work and you're just gonna give it to Codewars. Jeez.
All right, try running the tests.
It is not doing anything, so we might actually have to. Let's try it again. Come on. Okay, actually, it might be doing something now that I think about it. We're stuck in an infinite loop somehow. That's what's going on right here.
Oh, I didn't see you run the test. I'm typing now, but I didn't see you do it.
Oh, that's interesting. Go to the live share and then try to click on the.
Oh wait.
All right.
I had to break out of it because it's
very loud right now, so it's definitely an infinite loop.
Okay. Yeah, we should try infinite loops in the interface. Oh, then it'll crash my browser.
That might honestly be worse. Yeah. So why is it looping infinitely if we're returning? R.
Does it never hit this? It must never hit that condition.
Oh wait, isn't it? Isn't the end the stop exclusive? Like for the last number, right? So.
Oh, in range. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it will. I feel like it would not.
So should we just get rid of the -1 in range then, like that?
I think that's gonna give us an index out of bounds error with those pops, but we can try it.
We can't try it in here because this is not working.
Well, so even if it's an infinite loop, if that's gonna that'll still error out, right? If it reaches the index out of range.
Yeah, but my terminal is locked up.
Oh, Control C. Wow.
Yeah.
This is like when the Windows Task Manager fails. Like, all right, well, what do you do now?
I haven't used Windows in so long.
Fair enough.
What's your idea, nobodies? What could you use one of? An infinite loop? What were we talking about?
So that actually does work. That does not loop infinitely for me anymore.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put it in this interface and try it.
Oh man.
This will time out though.
Here. So I'm just gonna try to trash the shared terminal, and then I'll make a new one.
Okay. All right. I see the test results. We got one and we failed the other.
Okay. So that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mine says we have to.
Every time I see your name, Derek Barnes, I think of Derek Banas, who's a tutorial creator on YouTube. I thought that's who was typing the first time. He has an extremely unique voice.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. I remember him when I was learning to do like Android development. That was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, he has good like one video segments where you can just brush up on a whole language or framework in just one video, put it on 2x speed.
Okay, so for the first test. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. What were you saying?
So for the first test, we're supposed to only print out west, but we got southwest for some reason. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there at first glance, but basically we have two additional elements. They don't seem to cancel out, so I'm not sure. So the stay still test is for here should just be like an empty array, and we get southwest and then southeast.
Yeah. He always says, "Why, hello world." I can't even do it. We should print out what it is before and after.
For like the return of the
like what the input and the output. Do you see what I mean? Because we only get to see.
As far as the test, we have the input, right?
Oh, right. We have the testing file.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was confused. I was like, I'm not sure.
I forgot. So which test?
The one I'm actually which one passed? Oh, the test no reduction passed, so that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. But test only west. We didn't pass that one, right?
No.
Yeah, because we got southwest west. So why didn't we pass that? We were supposed to cancel out the first two, and then after that we should have found east west, canceled those out. This doesn't make any sense. And then we should have canceled out south and north. But instead somehow we kept one of these souths, and then we kept the west, and then we kept that west.
Right. Okay, so if we look through, I mean, let's just try to run through the algorithm that we have, but like as people, I guess.
As people?
Yeah. So like
that
read through the code, right? And then we have the input up at the top as a comment. So I was like, just read through and see what each iteration of the loop would do here, if that makes sense. And try to figure out, because which kind of be a pain because we'll have to keep count of that, or keep track of like a counter.
Why don't we just print out the iterations?
That makes a lot more sense. You're right.
Instead of humans, because we have the code here.
Okay, so if we do, where would we? Hold on, let me close. I have it split, so it's hard to read. There we go. So should we print it just at the top of every while loop?
Yeah, let's start with that.
And then we'll just grab this. Yeah.
Testing stuff. You finished it, Nobodies? Are you doing the same kind of thing we're doing? Or something else? Don't give us the whole answer. Oh, you're doing the same thing we're doing? Minus the bugs?
But
in JavaScript, okay. Alright, let's run this.
Did it not run for you? That's interesting.
Oh, I see it. I had to scroll down.
Oh, okay. So the first pass, what do we get rid of? So southeast, west, northwest. So, okay, so we get rid of north, south correctly. The first north, south.
But then
and what? Then we get rid of east and north.
What? How did that even happen?
All right.
We're gonna have to do some more printing because I'm real confused now.
Yeah. So here we could do something like print. Oh wait, let's do an F string just because it's a lot easier to keep track of that. Should we print the index or the element or both?
Yes, post it on Discord. Yeah, print both of them. Print everything you possibly can.
Okay, so index.
Fancy prints.
I love F string so much. We'll just do 2 print strings, one of the other, for each individual element. Okay. And then element. Right, and then we can just. Oops, 41. Alright. So that should be good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that as well, just to make it a little more clear.
Yeah, VS Code does have a good debugger.
Alright, and then I'm gonna clear this and run it. So, okay, 0 and 1, as it should, and then 1 and 2. It says... What?
What?
Like, because that's correct. What it's saying we're removing is what we should be removing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's do it like this instead. Because we're doing the same thing we were going to have issues with before. We're modifying an array. So what we actually want to, I think if we get rid of the array after it and then the current array, that'll work, right? Because then we're not, because what's going on is...
Oh, right, I see.
So let's try it again.
So I think the first time through the loop, we're removing north and then this south, and we're just not realizing it.
Well, no. So the first time through. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on. Yeah.
Okay. Good. So
Oh
just
man.
switch those around.
Epiphanies, that's what they're called. Those are fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get the if you look down at your terminal, we got the right thing now.
Sweet. Awesome.
So now what we can do is get rid of this.
I scrolled down.
No worries.
Yeah.
And then for the test, let's run the test, and we still fail one of them.
Which
and
one
it
did we
is.
fail?
I think it's a stay still. Yes. Yeah. It's the one that should equal nothing. So let's just go ahead and Control Z a few things, and then we'll just grab the test directions from this.
Do that.
Do what?
No.
I just figured what we do here is do the no, we want the index plus 1 at the top, right? So that when it removes the oh man, this might still be running the exact same error that we were running before.
But it was working before.
Oh, actually, no, you're right. Because so since we break out after we remove once, we actually don't need to worry about anything else as far as that's concerned. I don't think, but we'll see. So let's save this, and I'm gonna clear this, and then I'm gonna run it and see what we get. So should be south, element 1 and element 0. So element 1 is south, and then element 0 is north. So then we have east, west, north. Okay. And so we want element 1 and 0 again, which is going to be west and east. That's correct.
Okay, so remove those. That's good. And then we get down here. We should be removing these, which is what we are doing. And then
I wonder. Let me.
North. Is this challenge wrong?
It should be. Here,
because
let me.
If we look at, there's nothing else to cancel out the second north, is right?
I wonder if
because there's south, north, west. Yeah, there's no more souths to cancel out.
I might have copied this wrong, so this might be my fault. Let me see. I was running off of 2 hours of sleep when I did this, so.
Okay.
South, and then east and west, and then south and north. So let's just use. Okay, this is one from the test that was just. I just hit attempt, and I'm grabbing from an actual test. All right, so north south cancels, south and east and west, and then south and north cancel. So this one. That's in the test. This is where I just put the new one, and then I'll put it here as well. So.
Yeah, this looks better.
Oh, okay. Well, sort of works.
Oh no. What's going on?
Okay. So sort of works. For some reason. Or. So, because if the array is linked 0, then we're just checking if the index is equal to -1 here.
Yeah.
So we just want to see if there's nothing in the len, then we're just going to return, or the array, then we'll return the array. Let's see. No, that doesn't. Nope. Okay.
I do want to try this in the interface.
And see if it works. Yeah, go for it.
Now that we fixed it. Take this. I'm going to get rid of our print statements.
Okay. I feel like we're missing something that's just like really obvious, you know what I mean?
We passed the tests, though.
Oh, did we do all of them? Really? So why is it running?
These are only 2 tests, though.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Test.
Okay, and it didn't check for an empty one, which is probably what the issue is. I bet if you attempt it,
Let me see.
because that's an empty one, yeah. It's gonna take forever and then time out on you.
Yeah, it's still going, still going. Oh, it's probably because we have that whatever infinite thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, execution timed out. So why is it giving us an infinite loop?
This is a good question.
It must never, well, it's never hitting this return.
Right.
Oh,
Which
so
means
you added a condition, length r equals 0.
Right, but that didn't help either.
Oh.
Okay, so something interesting is it's never printing the length of the array. Let me look at the very. I've let it go on too long. That's cool, so I can't see anything else. But yeah. So it's not even reaching this. It seems it's only printing this, and then it's not doing. Oh, yeah. So
because it's not getting out of this one.
It's never starting a for loop when the array length is 0, right? So it can't reach that array, of course. I feel stupid now. So what we can actually do here is, right, and then not 1 equals 0, or not, sorry, it should be not equals 0. And then here, if we ever reach this part, we can just return an empty array.
That feels like a band-aid. Okay.
Or R, I guess in this case, right? Like it doesn't. Well,
Okay, well let's see if it works.
Yep. We get the thing we're expecting. So then if we get rid of the print statements here, and then we run our tests, we pass all of them.
Okay. So why don't I put this in the interface, and then we can optimize after.
Okay. That sounds good.
I can't believe it's been almost an hour. This time just flies by.
I know. I thought this was going to be a lot easier than it ended up being too, which is funny.
Yeah.
I think Derek agrees with you.
Yay, we passed all 25. So
nice.
Our band-aid worked. Stop the bleeding. Okay. Now what do we want to do to refactor? Because I feel like we could get this down to 1 return statement anyway.
Yeah, let's see.
I mean, we could just move this if statement to, all we'd have to do is move it to after this if, right? Because if this second if statement removes the last items from the array, then this if will catch it.
Will it?
No.
Because that'll be index equals is looking for -1 again.
Oh, I guess we would have to check the length then after in another if. So I don't know if that's any better.
I don't think it is. This is a weird one. There's definitely a better way to do this, right? Like, or it feels like there is, if nothing else.
So let's say if this is empty, it breaks out of the for loop. Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest thing to do, because then while won't iterate again because the list is empty, so then it just goes to the return statement.
Right.
It looks dirty, but maybe it's the cleanest thing to do right now.
I mean, we could try to re-architect it into a recursive solution instead of iterative if you wanted to, but that might take quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Maybe not though. I mean, we've got here, but and I don't know if making it recursive is going to make it look much better anyway, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Well, we could submit this one. We can always try it again, because then it saves. So the Codewars will save all of your solutions over time.
Right.
So, because you know, we might want to keep this solution and then have another solution that's recursive.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let me submit. Now, should we look at other people's solutions?
Yeah, why not? That's I always do. I think it'll help make you a better programmer to see other solutions, and not only that, but also see why you don't like other people's one-line solutions and why you can't read them.
So how many people have? Oh wow, there's been a lot of. Been almost 10,000 completions.
Oh wow, yeah, okay.
So let me see if I'm following. Because I want to see nobody's said in chat that he solved it.
Oh, he said he'd put it in Discord too, right?
Oh yeah, he did. But I'm not in Discord because I didn't want to get notifications.
That's fair.
Oh, nobody's. So let me go here. What's your username? Nobody. I'm gonna guess. That's okay. JS is valid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try nobody's and see if that's a person. Nope. It's 404. Oh well. Let me know your username.
So you're saying nobody's is actually nobody. Sorry, it was a joke.
Oh, Seeker of True Code. Alright. Seeker. Is that capital? True Code. I guess we'll find out. Oh, that's a 404. So I guess you're being serious about the capital letters.
Okay.
Of True Code. Okay. Disclaimer, didn't refactor. That's okay.
After looking at
character, by the way. I don't know who that is. What'd you say, JT?
So after looking at how someone else did it, I feel like a little stupid because they just took the string and used dot replace for like north south and replaced it as an empty string, and then south north replaced it as an empty string. So we definitely could have just gone through the string and replaced, or like made it a string and replaced it and then split it.
Didn't think about that.
No.
So I followed nobody's. So let me now go back to the challenge and see if I can see him.
I love that username, Seeker of the True Code.
Okay.
Or Seeker of True Code, sorry.
I'm trying to get to 300 points because there are some katas I want to post on here. I keep thinking of new things that I could make into a kata, but I think you have to be at 300 points to post them.
There's a really easy way to upgrade your or get kata points if you don't mind being a little shady about it. But one of the things that a lot of people at Kenzie would do to like get higher points is just do a ton of level 7 or 8s. You get like 2 points for them, but you can do 20 of them in like 5 minutes, right? So then it's really not hard to kind of game the system that way. But I've never been a fan of doing that.
Yeah, I'm okay just solving challenges regularly.
Oh, you followed it, yes. You just have to go to use solutions of user I'm following for that kata now.
I tried to, but it didn't show any.
That's interesting.
So now I'm on his page again, and if I go to katas, completed languages, JavaScript, okay. But it doesn't show me the code here. So here, it doesn't say that. I don't know, maybe his settings are hidden. Oh well.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I can't see it, but let's just look at some other people's solutions. I'm looking at Python, so maybe I'm filtering by the wrong thing. So maybe if I look at
I didn't think
JavaScript.
about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Codewars
Oh,
crashed
I
on.
haven't solved it in JavaScript.
So you're not gonna be able to see it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, oh well. Let me go back to Python. You'll have to post it. You said you posted it in Discord. I'll have to see it. Oh, solutions, yeah. Now it says forfeit eligibility. Oh, because it went back to JavaScript.
Oh, okay. So the numbered thing did work. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is in Discord. It's he posted a screenshot.
Okay. Does it look good? Clever?
Yeah, so basically what he's doing is he gives north, south, east, and west all like that integer values. So north is 1 and south is -1, east is 3 and west is -3. And then he just creates a sum. So the same way that we were looking at the current element and then the next element, he's doing the same thing, except he's looking at the current element and the one before it, and he adds the two sums of those numbers together, and if they're 0, then he just removes both of them from the array. Otherwise,
Okay.
goes to the next element. Yeah.
It was kind of hard to follow verbal coding, but it is in the Discord. So if you go to the description below, there's a link to the Discord chat that you can join and talk to us every day about code. You can see his solution there. I think, yeah, this is interesting. Of course, oh yeah, this is what you were saying, the replace.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I don't
It
know
doesn't
about
look
best practices, but
yeah.
I think it's clever. Definitely clever. That's interesting. This one's better than ours.
Which one?
They set a new list and then they loop through the original list, and then they're popping and appending to the new list.
Who are the people?
Unnamed, CS, Ncure, Kick. It's not easy to read these names.
That's fair. Oh, at the very top for me here. Yeah, okay.
Okay, and then this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a while loop and a for loop. So a lot of these solutions, only have one loop. Which.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because even this while loop solution just has a loop and a conditional instead of a nested for loop. So if we were to refactor,
yeah, this one's smart because they just take each of the element and add it to the list, and then they just check the last element of whatever list they're adding to, and then it's okay, that's super smart. And I feel bad for not thinking of that immediately. So.
Oh well, but I think we did okay. One of these days we should go back at our old challenges. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
We failed. We should go back through old challenges and try to refactor. I think that would be a fun stream.
Yeah, that would be. I like that idea a lot.
All right. So it's been over an hour. Is there anything else you wanted to say or do, or?
It's like the interview question. Like, do you have any questions for us? No, not really. Just make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell icon. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Also, so JT will be back next week, right?
Yeah.
For another challenge. If you have any suggestions for challenges you want to do, leave them in the comments below. What do you think? We should try. We've done 2 level 5s, so we should try level 4, right? Something a little bit harder.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, and we could always take 1.5 or 2 hours if we do however long challenges.
I mean, if push comes to shove, or worst case scenario, we could also just split it up into like two videos or something, right? Like if we don't get it done with it in 1 week, we can do it the next as well. Continue on with it, like you and Daniel with the brackets.
Brackets.
I think it was brackets.
I think I tried to wipe that one from my mind.
Oh,
That was...
I think I actually solved that one. I have to go look, and because you guys didn't finish it, I was like, okay, now I've got to figure this out. So I went back and played with it. But
yeah, I think Daniel was having a hard time because he wasn't used to streaming, so he's kind of out of his element a little bit.
Yeah, I feel him the same. Like this is only the third time. I think I've like streamed a little bit here and there before, but it's just like while I was playing video games and I had one viewer. So
I feel like you're doing pretty well though.
Thank you.
So the chat's asking if you have a YouTube channel.
I don't yet. I plan on having one. I'm trying to figure out exactly like what I want my content to be, how I want it to structure it. I kind of have this idea right now where I'm really like interested in learning new concepts in general. So the idea is maybe make a YouTube channel where like I just kind of live stream going through the process of learning a new thing. For instance, one thing that I'm trying to figure out how to do right now is make a Rubik's Cube solver. So you tell like the computer what the configuration the Rubik's Cube is in, and then it'll tell you how to solve it from there. And there's a lot I have to learn. There's like iterative deepening A star and a whole bunch, and like even how to represent the Rubik's Cube as a data structure. So I think it'd be cool to like set up a video series that follows me as I learn these things to make the thing that I want, if that makes sense. But
yeah, that would be interesting.
So yeah, I part of it is I just need to do it. I'm also like applying. This past week I've literally done nothing but fill out a spreadsheet of places I'm going to apply. So I've got about 100 places that I'm just going to start sending mass resumes to here and a little bit and see how it goes.
You graduated 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now you're still looking for a job in the middle
Yep.
of COVID lockdown.
Yeah. So the YouTube channel's kind of taking a little bit of a backseat while I get organized and really get that ready. And then I need to make sure that my computer can accurate or can live stream pretty well, because it's like a 4 or 5 year old laptop at this point. So that might get in the way. But the plan is definitely to have a YouTube channel. I really like teaching or like helping with code and stuff like that. So I think that's a really good fit for me. So at some point I'll have that up, and when I do, I will let everyone know.
Yeah, we'll definitely share it here. If you have any recommendations for content that JT should make, then leave it in the comments below. Tell him what content you'd like to see. Any advice for his channel or anything. And then hopefully he has a channel here pretty soon. Yeah, I guess that's it. Like JT said, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you have any level 4 challenge recommendations for next week. And we might have a little bit of a longer stream next week so we can solve a longer challenge.
Cool.
All right, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
See ya.